Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. This is Manan Rawal from Bharat Media, and we have our guest today, Aditya Satsangiji. He has written so many books on Hindu mythology, karma, and stuff like that. And we would like to know some more details about the books. And Aditya ji himself is a great scholar and great writer. So we are going to interact with him. Welcome, Aditya ji, to the show.
Namaste and thank you for inviting me, Ramanji. And thank you,
Anytime, sir.
Viral Trivedi ji, also for introducing me to you.
Yeah, Viral ji just gave me your contact, and she was pretty much praising about you. And then I researched on your profile, and I came to know that what she was saying was perfectly right. Um, Aditya ji, we will just like to know that when you came to USA and how you transform yourself to this Sathology.
No, great question. Actually, I came like any other Indian American has come here for money and for job. I have to be very honest about it. I did not come to this country for good weather because I am from Mumbai and it is very good weather. I love the weather of Mumbai.
Yeah.
And I did not come for snow. India, I have traveled a lot in India. I know snow is also there in India. And I did not come for any greenery. India is a very beautiful country, and India has many places to go. And last but not the least, I did not come to this country for food because India has the best food. Mumbai में कहीं भी जाएंगे तो you get a very tasty food everywhere.
Yep.
So I came to this country for money and very honest and for career, and I really thank this country for making that happen. But then I realized, over working for many years in very important positions, I realized that there was a misconception about Sanatan Dharma culture and the culture of Hindus. And the American textbooks are more of propaganda against Hindus and Sanatan Dharma and also natives and any other community which is not Abrahamic. That's a propaganda which goes on. And when I used to hear our Indian American community saying our mythology, and one good thing about me, my background is my grandmother. I remember my father died at very early age, and my mother was incapacitated for most of her life. So I faced many hardships in India. Very honestly, it's in my profile on Amazon. People read it, and so I had that culture of Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. I was trained under Brahma Madhva Sampradaya in the Gurukul, and I wanted to serve my parampara, Guru parampara, and therefore I had a good training in Shastra from the very early age. Very early age, you can say 6 years onwards. And so when I was used to say Indian American saying mythology, our Hindu mythology, I used to ask them question, try using the word mythology for Bible and Quran, and you'll see what the reaction you get over there. And then I also studied, I'm a good student of Mahabharata Ramayana. I'm not good, just a sincere student. So therefore I have some catch on Sanskrit. And also the kind of English etymology, being an that also I'm a student, because if you don't Sandhi Vichhed in Sanskrit and etymology in English, if you don't understand these two topics, then you cannot be the master of that language. And you have to understand English from the perspective of the people whose mother tongue is English. Like for example, if my mother tongue is Kannada, I have to understand the my way of speaking from the perspective of language I speak, because that's how you get me. So English is not my first language. English is my second or third language because I'm born in Solapur. So Kannada, Marathi, Hindi, then English.
Wow.
But but then but then it makes us more intelligent because now we can process every single word from seven angles. Because I have more angles from Indian languages perspective, and therefore Indians are generally more intelligent than any other community in the world, and I can safely say that because of the results they have produced in every single part of the world. So when the same intelligent community talks about mythology, and I was really hurt personally that they're telling their own culture as lie, as imagination, as a fake. And because the word mythology, if you go to the etymology, means it is a combination of Sanskrit root word called myth and a Latin root word called logos. Now there is a doubt over there whether it's a Latin or Greek, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Latin came from Greek and the Greek came from Sanskrit. You can say that. So the logos and myth you combined became mythology. Now the opposite of myth in the Sanskrit language is myth Sanskrit dhatu. Ma choti ki matra and tha, adha alant. Tha. There is sat, like you have. So sat is the root word from which different words are made. In etymology, you create new words. I'm talking brand new words or compounded words based on roots, not on words. Like for example, if you say mithyachar, mithya achar, but then myth and achar, then you become mithyachar. So the same way it became sat, and then I had to add another ta, and to rhyme it with or etymologically make it a true antonym of mythology, it became sattology because I have to pay. So it means the science of truth, the study of truth. So now I want the Hindu Americans to call our Hindu history as sattology and biblical, Quranic, and other history as mythology because the more and more American universities are proving such. American universities are saying that the Greek mythology, biblical mythology, Quranic mythology, they all have been questioned by American historians, but they have not been able to find any faults in the Hindu history. So the Hindu mythology word is a campaign against the Hindu history. And that was the reason I created this word. And through this word, I'm fighting or I'm trying to create a decolonized version and also teaching Americans that they need to learn their history again and stop believing in the propaganda which is being taught. And now, recently, due to political events, we have seen that how their textbooks have been misused by certain sections of American society to create rebels against the American ethos itself.
So that's how you come with the word cytology, right?
That's right, Sattology. Yes.
Cytology. And how you transformed from IT to this field? I was a little bit surprised. I was reading your profile, and you came with your IT degree and IT professional and stuff like that. What encouraged you, and what exactly how you got into this kind of stuff?
Nowadays when the humanities students and historians start lying, now it's the work of the engineers and doctors to step in.
Good one.
That was the main point because when you're fighting against a very logical brain, and humanities are generally heart based brains, they work with heart and we work with feelings. So when you're dealing with a brain based society, you need to put our brains down and we need to use our logic and reasoning to question what they're saying. And I think the more and more engineers will be inspired, and many engineers are doing this job now. I see more books published by the engineers from IT background and doctors than humanity people, because humanity people have to work on the scholarly consensus, so they have to comply with the other rules of the game, and we don't have any such rules.
No.
So therefore we are perfectly suitable to do that.
So what inspired to write all these books and turn from IT to here?
See,
Any
there is
perfect incidents or something happen, or any past memories that?
no the constant calling of mythology by our own people about Ramayana Mahabharata. That was the main driving force to write books. I've been doing preaching for a very long time. प्रचार मैं बहुत सालों से कर रहा हूँ अमेरिका में. लेकिन to write the books was a necessity when I keep hearing our Hindu Americans. Actually, I'll bow down to their feet that you inspired me. Thank you. And because you called your own history as mythology, so I had to use the material proofs. And also, Vyasadev in Mahabharata writes, any history which doesn't trace its origin back to Mahabharata is a history which is called fake. So
Oh,
सबसे बड़ा डिबंकिंग मिथोलॉजी तो व्यासदेव ने किया है. So now that struck to my mind. And also Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Prabhupada, wrote in one of the books that mythology is the word of the Asura to campaign against the Sanatan Dharma. He wrote over there. So that is also a great pointer. And there was a very famous incident where somebody asked Prabhupada in UK, why have you come here? And the Prabhupada replied to him that I have come to give you which you forgot in India, Bhagavad Gita. So that's,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, that was
So,
a good. Yeah.
so that was, these things were all combined, became a big source of inspiration to write books which serve our Sanatan Dharma culture in a more forceful way, in the language which Americans understand, like in their face, on their nose, and under the belt. That's what Americans understand. And that's what I did
Oh,
in
great.
an academic way. So now our Hindu kids, if they read my books, they can go to any American and say, well, this book says this, and I gave geographic coordinates. To that level I went. So now they cannot refuse it. If I say uh, राम राज्य तो साउथ अमेरिका में भी आया था, सुग्रीव की सेनाओं ने सर्च किया था, वो मैंने प्रूफ दिया, मटेरियल प्रूफ आई हैव गिवन. So Americans cannot deny it now, because there is no such, all the fake stories, the Vikings came here and this came here and that, it's all fake, it's all propaganda. It's been debunked by American scholars and European scholars themselves, including the whole story of Juan Diego. But if I say Tonantzin in Mexico is Bhavani Devi, Durga Devi, with proof, so they'll have to accept. And the only people who won't accept my logic and my proofs that I collect in my book are the people who are driven by a propaganda and an ulterior motive.
Oh, okay. So, what are the challenges for Indians here in America, living in America?
See, the biggest challenge. See, one thing about Indian American community is that they are very resourceful. They have a good heart. They abide by the law, and they are very much obedient to any political narrative. That is a good thing, actually. I always appreciate that. But one thing we have seen, and you have more experience than me, you run a business and you're a very successful person, is that we have seen that we have no say in the national media in this country. We have no viewpoint in the national media or the academic narrative, because we have been doctors, we have been engineers, we have been business people. We are the people who fund the American state, what you call welfare policies. We are the people who are contributing positively to the American economy, but we have not asked our share of rights, because in an Abrahamic country, rights are more important. In a dharmic country, your kartavya is more important, your duties are more important. So we love Bharat because it is our duty. We love, but in America, we have been doing our duty to be nice to the political masters of this country, but we have not asked them what they can do for us. And this is the biggest challenge, that we have to learn to begin asking at least our political rights, just like the blacks have done. Hispanic Americans are doing it, and the whites are also doing it nowadays. The leftists are doing it, the right wings are doing it. And I'm always amazed at the presidential campaigns. Presidential campaigns, you can have a billionaire running a presidential post, but he'll still are going to ask for money, $10, $5, $3. If you
Yeah,
support me, give me the money. So and so, like, there was a movie called Twins. There was dialogue: when the money talks, bullshit walks. And Dave DeVito said that. And and that dialogue is stuck to my mind, because that's an American mantra. But we have been giving money, but we have not been asking. All the textbooks, like the Ziegler's, which is World History of Religions and World Culture, which is being taught to ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade in American high schools, is full of propaganda against Hindus. We have not asked them to change it, and we have done fake campaigns actually. Well, California textbook thing was happened, and
yeah,
everybody collected money, but nothing happened. No course change happened, because the guy who was appointed by the California state to change it is a Chinese American. How Chinese American is going to decide about a Hindu textbook? And Hindu Americans also, the kind of propaganda Hindu Americans had, कि साधु संत सारे चोर हैं. They have been, the Bollywood propaganda is so much filled into their brains like a gobar, that they are thinking of all the sadhu sant as thieves. They do not understand that if there was no Vivekananda, if there was not the great Prabhupada, it was not there any other great spiritual leaders, Swaminarayan and other places, our Hindu culture, so many Hindu kids will misled. So the protection of Hindu culture in America is done by the sadhu santa, and they have none of these textbook change have involved any of our teachers. And also we have, because हमको बोला गया है अतिथि देवो भव, but we have not been told the full story. शत्रु देवो भव, no, शत्रु हंता, शत्रु का अंत होता है. Not everybody is an अतिथि.
Yep.
Atithi is the person who comes with a anukulena. He comes with a favorable feelings towards you. That is an atithi. And sadhu santa are an atithi. First, atithi word is used for the sadhu santa or people who are like very clean-hearted, good people, but not for everybody. Aggressor is not an atithi. So now we are seeing the aggression in the community against the community from the cultural point of view, and most of the Hindus are not taught the difference between a culture and religion. So in Mexico, I'll tell you one very good story. People have in Mexico, when the colonial invasion happened in 1492 because of the Catholic Church, the Pope passed the papal bull, and from there the colonization happened. In there, the first what they did was inculturation. They adopted the culture of, first of all, they brought a lot of diseases. Europeans have always been sick, so they have been brought, I mean, medically sick, I'm not saying otherwise. So these people are sick people sent out of Europe, so they came with the diseases, and they merged with the local population and first started adopting the local culture and customs. So they gave up their bread, adopted a taco is a native Mexican food,
Yeah.
and then they imposed the religion. And then they say, if you believe, they started breaking down Native American temples. I was recently in Paricutin volcano, near Paricutin volcano, and I saw the entire villages destroyed by the church. And the church used the temples of the natives to create a church from the same rocks. And the whole story of Juan Diego was a fake one, which is in Mexico City is there. And then the religion becomes a culture. Now the natives over there have to follow the religion because that's the culture. So it's a two-way strategy works. Same thing tried to happen with Native Americans in USA, but Native Americans fought very hard. I must thank them. They were overwhelmed, and because of some of their faults also, because they sided with the French and sometimes they sided with the British, and the culture becomes the religion when they come in, and then the religion becomes a culture. And today many Native Americans have also lost their religion now. They have Christian names, they're Christians, they're Catholics. And so this is the two-pronged strategy in which colonization happens. And right now Hindus in America are going through the first phase where yoga, karma, and the Abrahamic philosophies, we are comparing them. There is no comparison between dharma and adharma. We do not, we if somebody is eating cow's meat, we cannot even use our credit card to fund that meat,
Yeah.
because that is a bad karma for us. There is no relationship between us culturally. So they are using yoga to enter our space, and vegetarianism and veganism. And now the second phase will be, it will be Christian yoga principles. Christian, we see that already happening in many parts. And we have to be very careful as the Hindu Americans or Hindu Indian Americans. We have to stop the misuse of the word yoga by the Americans. And that's why I wrote a book on Yoga Sutra based on Patanjali. It's called Yoga Sutra as it is, transcending the mind. Because I don't want our culture to be inculturated by the Catholic missions. Because yes, the colonization of America never stopped, and colonization of South America never stopped. It just took new names like United Nations, like League of Nations. These are the new names, but these are the church-based bodies. Deep State is a church-based body, and with my own research, I proved it. with my book Gold, Glory, and God, which I showed you earlier. This is the book I wrote over there.
Yeah.
It's approved over there. And so the biggest challenge for Indian Americans is they have not used their money, the richness. We have funded big universities. We have funded billions of dollars into technology space. Not even billions, I'll say trillions of dollars. We are the wealth creators in this country, but we have not used that position to fund our own culture and our own heritage. And if we were to do that, and one good thing about us is we are not government funded. Best thing about us,
Yeah.
we are individuals, we are funded by self. Like I have Jagannath ji sitting on my left. So Jagannath ji is funding us. And
Yep.
that is the biggest thing about us. And that's why we can make the biggest change. If there is a real capitalist in America, that is us Hindus. Because we have a karma based philosophy. If you don't believe in karma, then you are not a capitalist. Because capitalist means what you sow is what you get. That's a basic fundamental capitalism. So the only capitalistic people are the Hindus in America. The European origin people, the settler origin people are not capitalists because they are funded by the church or the government institutions. We are the only capitalist people, but we have not asked for our pound of flesh or our barfi. We have not asked. We need to ask our samosa. We need to ask our chai. we
Yeah.
do cannot allow others to take our heritage, and that's how I see the biggest challenge actually.
So, listeners and viewers, I would like to let you know that if you don't know, he has written around 10 to 15 books, and each book is around approximately 250 to 400, 500 pages. So, whenever you get time, you can go to his YouTube channel or go to the Amazon. It is available on Amazon and Kindle also. But coming back to the point, sir, that can we can you let us know which is your favorite book? I know that everybody says that all child are mild, so I can't do that. But one of the best book that you would like to discuss a little bit on that.
So you know like I said, it's
I
difficult
have
to.
list of the books, but I don't want to name anyone. Okay, I just leave it upon you to
Yeah,
decide on it.
so people can search Sathology on Barnes and Nobles, Goodreads, Walmart, Target. My books are available in all the major American stores now, and books are published with the help of Barnes and Noble, so they are available there. And most of my books are out of print because it's been selling like crazy. My latest book, I would not say the best one, but I'll say the latest one. Latest one is the original Atlas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the book I launched in October, and already I'm working on my latest new book now. But this book actually tells you the geographic coordinates of every single place mentioned in Ramayana Mahabharata, along with their original traditional names. And so this book can serve as a spiritual guide for many seekers across the world, especially Indian Americans. They can go and start looking at South America as Pushkar Dweep.
Uh
Look
huh.
at उसका नाम पुष्कर द्वीप है वेदों में. And look at North America as Kronch Dweep. Look at Africa as Plakshadweep. Look at Asia as Jambu Dweep. Look at Europe as Shaka. Look at Australia as Shalmali Dweep. And this is the name given by in our Purana about all these territories. And when you start looking at geography from the eyes of Veda, Purana, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, then you get the most accurate perspective of Earth and also the cosmology. Because cosmology, the movement of sun, the movement of moon, is important for our spiritual sadhana. See, there is a purpose behind everything in our culture. The sun is important, Surya is important because he gives life on the earth. And because of him, the wind won't move, the water won't move, nothing will move. There will be no life left. And therefore, Surya Puja is essential in entire culture of ours. Surya Puja, Deva Puja, Devta Puja, and also Pitra Puja. So all these places mentioned here, Pulastya Rishi and other great rishis, they mention what is the purpose of going to these places. And you will be shocked to know that the our places of pilgrimage are also there in this continent also. If you're living in America, I'll just read you one line. and many panditjis and people will agree with me. So the mantra for this Kranchadip is Apa Purusha Viryaya Sa Punirtu Bhur Buswa Nana Punitani Migni Sprishitatmana Bhu Iti. The people of this island pray to Varuna, the Devta for water, that you have obtained energy from Supreme Person Hari. Therefore, you purify Bhur, Bhuva, and Swargaloka. By your original nature, you take away the sins of everyone, and that's why we are touching you. Kindly purify us. And the Native Americans have a very similar prayer. I put it in the book, very similar prayer. According to Native Americans, this island is known as a turtle island, and Kachadweep. That's a Kranchadweep, Kachadweep, and it's shaped like a bird, so it's called Krancha. And this particular island, Kranchadweep, is famous for water bodies, the kind of lakes we have in North America. The biggest, deepest lakes are in North America, are full with lakes. Go to East Coast and
Yeah.
everywhere we have lakes. That's why it's called Varuna Puja is very essential here. And so ancient Native Americans also worshipped water. Very common thing is their water. Therefore, all the sacred sites of Native Americans, ancient Native Americans, including there is a pyramid in Cahokia in Illinois. It is built on a native land. It is a Mayan temple, and in Mexico, the worship of moon is very prominent. In
Oh,
the northern part of Pushkar Dweep, which is South America, the worship of sun is very prominent. But in the USA and Canada part, the worship of water is very prominent. And but so when the people, Native Americans from here, would like to go to pilgrimage, they would go to Mexico, Chichen Itza, Yucatan, and some people will go to towards Michoacan, where Patsuaro and other places are there. So our Vedic history, Sanatan history, was here before also. Now it's time for us to wake up and start claiming these heritages. And it is my sincere request to all the Native Americans, all our Native Americans and our Indian Americans, is to join forces together.
yep,
And let's stop killing the cows. Let's start getting back to the roots like corn. Uh, the Native American food is corn, beans, and squash. मेरे घर में तीनों उगते हैं. So,
yeah,
so I know how. And also protecting cows, because this was Native American culture also. For them, milk was very scarce.
yep.
And when we start doing that, I think we will be able to make a lot of solutions in this country.
So that was something about the
Atlas.
original Atlas, right?
Yes.
Uh, I have heard a lot about your Karma the Beach, the book.
Yes. Difficult name.
Difficult name, but can you just give some of the highlights on it? That what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. This book is very famous. It's a very light book for people to read, and was written from an American point of view. And initially, I was titling this name "The Science of Karma," but it would have been a very boring title. So I cannot give my all my book titles are very like
yeah, I
generous.
see that. One arrow, one kill,
Yes, Sri Ram is right
world
there
glory
behind.
and God.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. So one arrow, one kill is all about Sri Ram, because Sri Ram never used a second arrow to kill somebody. So the karma is a very interesting story. I was flying through Atlanta, and many of these books I wrote way before I started publishing them, because I love to write, and that is my meditation. Golf and writing are two my passions. So I was पासिंग थ्रू अटलांटा एयरपोर्ट. हम लोग सब गए हैं अटलांटा एयरपोर्ट में. अटलांटा एयरपोर्ट पे एक टर्मिनल पे, थोड़ा नाम भूल गया, शायद टर्मिनल बी है, सी है, शायद सी है. वहां पे फाइव गाइज का एक शॉप है. फाइव गाइज,
hmm.
जो इंडियन अमेरिकन विल नो फाइव गाइज. एंड इन फाइव गाइज यू हैव फ्राइज आर वेरी फेमस.
Yeah,
एंड आई एम ए वेजिटेरियन, सो मैं वहां पे जाके आई वाज गोइंग टू फ्राइज. तो खाने के लिए गया, एंड आई वाज थिंकिंग अबाउट माय बुक, एंड आई वाज स्टैंडिंग इन द लाइन, एंड सडनली पीपल स्टार्टेड फाइटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी.
oh,
And there was a misunderstanding about the number people called, but both of them had ordered the same number. so the number was same. And they were fighting that, okay, it's my order, my order. And then they started abusing each other. Karma is a bitch, karma is a bitch, karma is a bitch, both of them. And two very, I would say, noble black ladies were fighting. And I got really, I suddenly clicked my mind. I wrote it down. The karma is a bitch is a perfect title. And but the Amazon would approve, won't approve it. Barnes and Noble won't approve it because they don't want to have the bitch. So my daughter said B asterisk TCH works.
Yep.
They allow after that, and that's where the title came from. And it has the complete science of karma in a very simple language with graphs and diagrams, so which Americans can understand, and also our Hindus can understand, because our Hindus also need a similar type of education, because they have also been gone through westernized education in India, and they also understand a similar way of writing presentation. And being an engineer, I tend to use a lot of graphs and charts, and which people love it. Sometimes they see, oh, why Ramayana mein graph chart kahan se dal diya aapne? But I said, you guys understand it, and that's enough. And it's a very age old practice. Bhagwan Ram also knew how to know trigonometry, because he knew how to throw the arrow. Anyone who knows how to throw an arrow knows the angles very well. He has to know trigonometry very well. And Sanskrit name of the trigonometry is Trikonamiti.
Yeah.
That's how the name came by. But actually, I added one more title there. Very small. You'll see very fine print. How to tame it. That I
Very nice, sir. Uh, Listeners and viewers, we are with Aditya Chatsangi ji, and we were just discussing about his life, how he transformed himself from IT to write an author. I would say successful author, and most of his books are New York's bestseller books, and you should go and check it out. I would suggest couple of books are really very nice. I have been reading that. And sir, any last words before I?
My next book is coming, a love story. People love love stories,
Oh, oh,
and I'm writing a book uh, to be made into a movie. And
oh,
so
okay.
I'm a non-fiction writer, so this is a non-fiction love story, real love story, which happened actually in our itihas. So, but nobody has done it so far. People have done it, but not from the point of view of making a movie. So this is
Okay.
going to come out very soon, and I will wait for any Hollywood producer or a good Bollywood producer who doesn't have problems. I don't like to sit down and wait for you to pick up. So this will be a challenge. Book will come out, and I'm sure it's going to beat Harry Potter very soon.
Wow. And listeners and viewers, we were just discussing before the interview with Aditya ji about his books, So he has agreed to come on our show every now and then, whenever the time permits him. But we will be coming with the series of episodes on each of his book, and he will narrate little bit of it, and then you have to go and read the book. Then and then you will get the essence of the book. But we will come with that kind of idea. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, Aditya ji. It was nice and pleasure
One,
talking to you. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
we have that Gita festival coming. This is a month of Bhagwan Gita being spoken.
Yeah.
So there is a every year I've been doing it for 17 years. So people can, because our culture will protect only through Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
People talk about Shatru Bodh. Shatru Bodh comes from Bhagavad Gita. So so please join. आप join, सब लोग join करें, and then
Do you have
participate.
any link, or is it virtual, or how it?
Usually we do in person and virtual both. So at my place in San Diego we do in person, but it is national contest and people can join from all over the world. I'll send you everything in your email.
Yeah, just send me the link. I will post it on this interview itself. So pretty soon you will find the link and you can register and participate. And when it is happening?
It will start on 10th,
10th,
and the final is on 25th December.
25th December. Okay.
Yes.
अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का जन्मदिन पे.
And our Gita Jayanti also.
Aja,
Gita
that
Jayanti is Gita Jayanti is on 21st and 22nd, but I kept it on 25th because most of the schools are closed.
Are closed. Yeah.
Easier for children to come and large audience to come and recite Gita, Bhagavad Gita, because the American Hindus are very large in number, so a lot of people join actually.
Oh, okay.
It will be
So,
live on YouTube and
ISKCON.
no, no, no. It's a I we are not directly connected with this. I'm not connected with this.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I'm connected with Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. So under Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, ISKCON is also part of it.
Oh, okay.
So I've been temples, pujari of many temples, non-ISKCON temples also.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice talking to you. And
Same here.
listeners and viewers, you will find the link below over here and do register and participate in that contest. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.